Hey, what's going on? It's Kyle, not Kevin, by myself. No annoying second chair. I bequeath it to the man, the legend, Max MVP. Hey!
Thank
Trade it
you,
up.
sir.
Trade it up.
Yeah, this is so cool, man. I'm really excited to be on the Skip It's Mez and top 10 of the week. I've been watching this show for like almost maybe even more than a year now. And so to, get to know you guys and be on the show now is super fun. And if you guys didn't know, we've been doing this on Friday evenings, kind of recapping all the books. So to actually be doing like the video is a lot of fun. So glad to be
It's
here.
heavy responsibility. Are you ready for that?
It is, man. I mean, we kind of give that initial feeling of what people need to look for when they're going to their LCS tomorrow. So it's a lot of pressure.
I know.
But I'm
So
yeah.
normally, we were doing it on Tuesdays. We switched to Mondays because we were getting them read. And it's like, let's do it even earlier because we're Comics
Mhm.
Elite. So we had a little thing called New York Comic Con come up. And on top of that, shipping delays. So we didn't get Penguin or Diamond until yesterday afternoon around 3:30 our time. So it was a mad dash to get all this stuff read for today. So I normally would try to do it out Mondays, but little thing. But I was able to get a couple of exclusives
Ooh,
on these foilies,
those look sweet,
don't
man.
they?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, these
That looks
were
rad.
some of the hot tickets at the New York Comic Con. So I'm very
Whew,
happy about that. Um,
that's
I
pretty rad.
know everyone likes the Mondays, and it's the one thing everyone looks forward to. And like we were looking forward to, we were going to do it on Monday.
Yeah.
That's what we planned, but life happens.
I got the text. I was ready in front of the camera, had everything set up, and then I got the text and he was like, "No boxes today." I was like, "Well, I guess we're doing it tomorrow."
Well, because I looked, we got
So,
one box of Diamond in. I was like, that's weird. And I opened
yeah.
it up, and it's all a bunch of old back stock, like Immortal X-Men
Okay.
#1. I'm like, that came
Oh,
out back in
wow.
like March, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this isn't right. I'm like, I don't think that came out this week. And yeah, so that's all we got. And then
Okay.
sure enough, when I got here, it's like, oh, here comes 35 boxes of Penguin I had to open up, and I'm
Mm,
like, this is it.
that'll
So
do it.
yeah. But hey, we're still here. We're doing it. We haven't missed a week. So how many did
True.
you read this week, Max?
So I didn't read nearly as many as you did because just trying to do school and work and read. I mean, I give all the props in the world to you guys. So I was able to read, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 9 read, and I was able to come up with a top 5. So
Okay.
not too
So
shabby,
I,
not too
I
shabby.
read 32, I believe.
Oof. Oh my gosh.
So
In like half a day. That is,
yeah,
talk about superhero powers.
I try. Yeah, so they all weren't read in one day. I spread it out. So we went, and of course, Lunar's always the first to get here. So we already have
Mm,
next week's Lunar already pulled, um, and so that gets here early, and then it's like we're just waiting on everything else to show up. So I read Lunar super early. I always read it super early.
yeah.
So
I I did actually read what was it? Batman versus Robin. I read that one like last week. Like I had read that like last Friday or something. So I had my notes on there. Yeah.
I know we're not down to 120.
120p. You can
Imagine that when
actually
we
see
decide
us.
to, yeah, go live and not try to download several videos at once.
Oh, that's
You can
hilarious.
actually see the books now. I don't care about my face. You don't want to see me. You want to see the books.
Yeah.
So
Those beautiful Action Comics and Detective Comics variants. Those are cool.
yeah, oh yeah. So okay, we're gonna start like we always do with the Mez. So without further ado, I have 3 Mez, which is kind of shocking to me. Yeah, this week was odd. So my top 10 is not great. So yeah, this was just wasn't a fan of this week.
It was definitely an off week. It felt like kind of a filler issue in a long run of a series or something. So there were highlights. There were some good books. But overall, I think what we were really missing was right here, Do a Power Bomb. And that was
Yes.
the only one that I was looking forward to. Like
Yeah.
that I've been pretty like every book that's come out from Do a Power Bomb has been solid. Like if not top 2 every week that it comes out for me personally. So but that's okay because like I said, we were able to read some stuff that was good, but there's one that stuck out that was a stinker. So looking forward to talking about that one.
I hope it is what I think it is.
It's
I'd be
100%,
shocked if it
dude.
wasn't.
There's no way that it wouldn't be
Never
that.
know. But yeah, something. So we didn't get Do a Power Bomb in, and Seven Sons, and there were a couple others that I wanted to read that we did not get this week. So right out of the gate, didn't get them. So they're not going to be in the top 10. Not going to be in the skip it a minute if that's what you're looking for. So it would be in a top 10. I wish it was, but didn't order it, didn't get it in. So it sucks. Okay.
Yeah.
So Mez out of the gate, I have Batman Urban Legends, number 20.
Okay. I think that's probably because you read the entire issue.
Correct.
I only read the first story.
Yeah, so I sent you the first one. So this was 4 or 5 stories. I sent you the first one because I wanted your take on it. Because I really liked that first story.
And I was gonna say, if that were the issue, like if that were solely the issue and it didn't have any back stories, that's my number. What was it? I think it was number 4 or 5 on my top 5 this week, because of just how, like, the design for it was like Van Helsing Batman, right?
Yeah.
Like Monster Hunter Batman.
Yes. Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's the Elseworlds. You got Batman hunting a gang. Like I loved that, and like what it's setting up with a certain villain that I don't want to spoil at the end.
Yeah,
like, it's really creepy. It's like you could feel it. I mean, it had a lot of mysterioso to it, and I'm like, I'm really digging this story.
Well, it was also like the atmosphere that is portrayed in the book is like this gothic medieval steampunk kind of Renaissance time frame, and it's so rad because like even your commander Gordon, he's not commissioner, he's commander. It's like, real like, oh blimey type of English accent, like it's super Cockney, and so everyone has like a very defining voice. My only issue was like, and I'd like to see how you felt about this. Did you like his new origin? And I won't spoil it what it is, but like they give kind of a new origin, and I was like, we didn't really need that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree, and I don't know where this is going to go. I haven't read to see what's going to come of this. I don't know. Yeah, it was that it's like you got to tread carefully with what you're doing, and it could be fun. It's not the quite like Gotham by Gaslight type of Elseworlds. It's not really steampunky, but yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with that as far as the origin of that and what it means for the whole world they're setting up.
Right. But yeah, I mean, overall, man, I did really enjoy it. I think it's got a great look to it. Like his costume is fantastic. The look of the actual creature that he fights at the end was unreal. And the Bat Cave too. Like the Bat Cave
really
itself is super cool. Everything is like very gothic, like I said, medieval Renaissance, but it's like like metal, like it's super just cool. And I wish I had better words to describe it, but it really is just like that simply, you know, like just cool and fun.
Yeah, and what they did with Alfred, it's easily eye rolling. I was
Yes.
really quick at first to be like, "Oh, Jesus." I was like, "Here we go." But I didn't mind it, and it fit with the story, and I was able to buy it and go along with it. So when it's done
Right.
properly, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't hate everything. It's like, I really liked what they did. If they have taste and there's a point to it, it's like, congratulations,
Yeah.
and they did, and my hat's off to them. The reason it's a meh, because the rest of this is kinda not good. The rest of the stories are kind of lame, and it's an $8 price tag. So
Ooh.
is it worth
Yeah.
that one story? Granted, I think it's close to 20 pages, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
Um, is it worth that $8 price tag? And I was
Yeah.
really trying to like wrap my head around that. I'm like, the rest of this is kind of garbage, but that one story is really fun. Is it worth $8? That's why it's a meh, because if some people, if you want to spend the $8, that first story is great.
Yeah.
But I completely understand if you're just like, I don't want to spend $8 on this book. I completely understand that too.
And yeah, no, that's a great point. What I would hope is maybe people like it so much that this becomes like a new spin-off or it gets collected in a trade somewhere. That's where I would hope to see this. Cause yeah, I don't know about paying $8 for 20 pages of um something that could potentially lead something, but maybe just be like a one shot. I'd love to see where this goes, but I actually really thought it was
Yes.
cool. And I'm more of a Superman fan, like, and yet I still thought this was a really cool take on Batman. So
Yeah, I'm glad I sent that to you at the last minute. I was like, I kind of want his take on that.
yes, no, thanks for sending that.
Yeah. All right. My next meh is I have Daredevil number 4. This is the
Interesting.
Scott Campbell, Luke Cage homage cover, which is awesome.
Nice. Okay.
You didn't read this. I
Nope.
it's so I have a hard time with the fist and the hand. It's like a rock paper scissors thing. It's like,
Yes.
who's worse, the fist or the hand? You have so Frank Castle is the
The
fist.
hand, I
Oh, he's the
think.
hand.
Yeah.
I'm like, which is worse? A fist would probably hurt more than a slap. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
paper, rock. I don't know who's gonna win this. And so basically, it's Matt and not Daredevil teaming up, but I got big Lord of the Rings, Return of the King vibes in this
Ooh.
one, where they in Lord of the Rings, where you have Aragorn and Gimli and Legolas going in to the mountains to get the undead soldiers.
Yeah.
Um, this almost exactly what they do in this,
That's kind of cool. Okay.
which
That's
can be
interesting.
cool.
Yeah.
I still don't know what it's for though. Like, I'm still like,
Okay.
you're trying to lead the hand to fight the fist?
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, and if the comic doesn't explicitly say that, or maybe it's like trying to allude to that, but yeah, that can be confusing.
Yeah, I'm like, and then you get a whole undead army. I'm like, I don't know where this is going. I don't know what's going on. And they get married at the end, I think. I don't know. There's some
Oh,
proposal and Stick is there, and I'm like, I don't know what we're doing anymore if this is real. So
fair.
yeah.
Was so just a meh, just due to like there were some interesting concepts, but never really flushed out.
Yes, if you want to get
Okay.
really kooky with it, where you're going and fighting undead soldiers, I'm all on board with that. But you have to lean into it. Then, like,
Yeah, you got
I
to
want,
go all in,
yeah,
baby.
like you need to be leading an army of the undead. Like, it's
Yeah.
what I want to see. So, but I feel like, and I don't know if it was metaphorical. I have no idea, but they were literally fighting. I don't know.
Huh.
So
Yeah. Well,
the
now
art's good, but this story is by issue 4. I mean, it's really gone all over the place, and I still don't know if the hand is worse than the fist.
well now we need a foot and maybe a head or something,
Yeah.
and then they can all come together to
Yeah.
create the body, and then the body is just this massive organization of
Yeah, like
assassins.
Voltron.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, my last meh, and I don't know why it's a meh. Hitomi, number one from Image,
Hmm.
um, by HS Tac Talk. It's about a female grown who wants to become a samurai in like 1500s feudal Japan.
So it's Mulan.
Kinda.
Okay.
I didn't want to write it off too early because the art's actually really good. Now the story is incredibly simple, and I I don't know how this character is going to play out because she can come across kind of like I know everything and I don't have to
Mm.
struggle really. It's like at the part where her family's killed by this Ronin soldier guy and she's looking for him and she's tasked with finding somebody to train her and this guy's like, "Oh, I can't, but go up this entirely gigantic mountain to this monk up at the top, the typical trial you have to get up there." It literally is a panel and she's already up there.
Okay.
So that wasn't like the struggle.
Yeah, I was like, well, that was fun. Next, moving on. Like,
Yeah.
just
I'm like, "Oh, so that was easy." And
yeah.
then this guy's like, "No, I'm going to train you, of course." Like it's not like Kill Bill volume 1 or volume
Oh
2
yeah,
where
yeah.
you see her getting the shit kicked out of her to get better. It's like the guy's like, "No, I'll train you, of course. I wanted companionship. That's what you had to offer me." It's like, "Oh, come on." So I don't know. This could be fun. I didn't want to write it off too early because again, the art I thought was good, and um, I'm not sure where it could go, but it could be interesting. It could be fun. Um, and I like that
That's
sort of thing. I like the 1500 feudal Japan era setting. I think that stuff's really cool.
yeah.
I don't know.
No, that's I think that's totally fair as a meh. Um I mean, because I'm looking at the cover, and if the art is anything like the cover, that looks pretty cool. I
Yeah,
would be, yeah, I'd be interested. So
yeah. You got the extra time. I mean, and then again,
time or
it,
money.
it could be really bad. I don't know. It could just be here we go again, stunning and brave. I don't have the best ever. We don't know.
Yeah.
Time will tell. So that's it for my meds.
I have one meh,
Okay.
and before we go on to skip it real quick, um, I believe it was called Punisher War Journal Brother, issue number
Yes.
1, something like that.
Yep.
Um, and
Yep.
I believe it's a one shot or maybe a spin off from the regular Punisher series. But honestly, so the writer was Torrin Grunbeck, and she did a fantastic Warhammer series that I really enjoyed. And so this Punisher book was very much for me reminiscent of that because it proves that she is a good writer, but maybe doesn't necessarily get the correct like source material or the material to write. Because like in this book, like it's not over the top action or it's not like crazy fun adventure. It's just a good story. So basically, Punisher is going against this large group of assassins who are all on the dark web, and they basically put out a bounty on his head, and they say anyone who can give us any information, even if you're a civilian, we will pay you money to give us information on his whereabouts. And so it's literally the entire world versus Frank Castle because people are like taking pictures of him, sending information to this one big head of this corporation or whatever. And they're all basically trying to find this dude. And it poses an interesting question, which is if everyone is willing to kill him or at least aid in killing him, like for money, is he going to kill all the evil in the hearts of all men and women? So, like, if these men and women are evil, if they are trying to kill him, and if they are trying to aid in this like murder, do they now take on the like title of criminal, or like are they evil? Are their hearts evil? We get a classic villain at the very end of the book, which is why it's called Brother. So yeah, overall, like I've got a big Punisher collection. I wouldn't add it to that. But it just proves to me that like Torun is a good writer when she's given the correct material, and that this can be better written than Jason Aaron in what he's doing with the regular series, which is abysmal. So that is my meh for this week. Yeah.
Wow. I hate all this, what they're doing with Frank Castle right now. I can't buy
Yeah.
into any of it. That is just ugh.
I don't blame you, man. I think you and I definitely agree that this the main series is just a joke. What they did to him in the second and third issues are just exactly like Marvel doesn't want to hide it anymore. They want to get rid of the Punisher. They don't want anything to do with him. They want to make him out to be this psychopathic villain. He has no redeemable qualities, so in this one he actually portrays qualities of someone who still has like integrity. So yeah. Ooh, that would be interesting.
You
And
better
it's
not.
coming back.
No
It
one's
better
allowed.
not be with the new logo. No.
Yeah, that new logo has
Yeah.
got to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a meh for you. That was your only meh.
My only meh. The rest are either skip it's or top 5. So yeah.
Okay, so my skip it pile, shocker.
Yeah, buddy.
Incredibly massive. Look, and I'm going to put all of the X titles at once. Shocker that all of these are skip-its. So the Fantastic Four bullshit X tie-in. We get 4 of the Die Hard references in this because Sue is trapped in the building. They actually do in this the elevator scene. It's not quite what John McClane does with "Now I have a machine gun, ho ho ho."
Ho ho ho, yeah.
But there is a scene where the villain, her, opens up the elevator and there is a chair, an office chair with a note on it.
It's pretty
friggin' close.
And they're stuck in a building.
They're stuck in a building.
Or is it called Nakatomi Plaza? Well, I wouldn't expect anything less from a Judgment Spray tie-in. So.
Yeah, so this was really dumb, and by the end, this villain is not bad. It's only because she was in a toxic relationship.
Oh no, the misunderstood villain, of course.
Yeah, so she's really not that bad. And thank God at the very end they get judged, and thumbs up. You guys are great.
But hey, Daredevil and Captain America, thumbs down.
You guys are you're evil, horrible people.
Yep.
So they get saved. Not that matters, because who gives a shit? Speaking of who gives a shit, Axe Judgment Day Wolverine, and this is him. Why he thinks he can go out into the wilderness to fight the Celestial, and like he's like, I'm gonna fight it, and I'm gonna to attack it. Like, I don't understand like what the thought process is in that.
Come here, bub.
Yeah.
To a Celestial, yeah.
I can't talk to it, so I'm just gonna slash it to death. Like, that'll save the day. And then of course his stupid trial. And I thought he already got judged. First off, I thought he got judged down. Before. He got judged thumbs up this time. I don't remember.
Maybe because go ahead.
No, you're fine. I just thought we had one before already where he got no buenoed because he kills everybody.
I don't remember, but maybe he got judged with a thumbs up now because he realized that X-23 is the true Wolverine and not him. And then they said, "That's right."
Could be.
Which is not true, but
yeah, yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Another tie-in. So this was Axe Death to the Mutants. And this
Never heard of her.
Oh man. Yeah, I who cares? So the Eternals plan is to, because they can't attack the Celestial. It's in their programming. So they're going to use telepaths, mutants, to take over their bodies so then they can then use their bodies to attack the Celestial. And of course, it doesn't work. Lo and yeah, shocker! Like the next page, it's like we're all dying. Like this is a horrible plan. Why did you make us do this? Like they're all just getting eviscerated.
Oh God!
Then it's just standing around talking, like a typical Eternals book.
I was about to say, in every X book, Eternals book, Avengers book, there has to be sitting around, standing around, walking around, talking.
Yeah, I mean nothing happens. It's like, and they're just like, do we need a new plan? We probably need a new plan. Well, what's our new plan going to be? Well, let's sit and talk about our new plan, and then we'll get the new plan, and then the plan will be the plan, and this plan will work because we have a new plan.
But they don't enact the plan, do they?
No. That's later. We'll enact the plan later, but right now we'll come up with the plan.
Yeah.
So,
are we ready for the plan? I think this is a good plan, guys. Let's do the plan. All right.
As long as this is the plan. Oh boy. And then we got Axe Judgment Spray Legion of X. And so I actually took a screenshot of this one because there was some dialogue in this that was pretty much sums up what we're thinking and pretty much what everybody else is thinking. So this is Legion. So he's getting judged now. Because, of course, let's just keep going down the line. And he pretty much sums up what we've been saying this entire time. So he's talking to the Celestial. He says, so what's my test now then? What lazy wee vignette will you use to reduce my worth to a thumbs up or thumbs down?
Damn.
That is literally what you're doing in every single issue and tie-in.
It's almost like, yeah, he's like you said, he's kind of saying out loud what we're all the readers are kind of thinking. Like, are you really boiling it down to just these surface level characteristics?
Correct.
So it's kind of like how how Sabretooth took out the entire Krakoa in that first issue, and all of us that were reading it were like, I'm kind of rooting for Sabretooth now.
Oh, we're gonna get to one of those later. Just wait. Hold on to your butts for that.
Your butts.
So I'm sitting here, I'm like, just because you put that in there doesn't mean I'm gonna recommend your book. It's still a not recommend. It's still a skip it because it's shit. But the fact that you have the audacity to put that in there and then be like, hey, they're funny and jokey and cool, right? He doesn't care. It's like, you can't do that and get away with it. It's like, you're still writing shit. And at the end, the Celestial's like, hey, thumbs up. You pass. And of course, Legion's like, I don't care. I never needed your approval anyway. So it's a mockery. You're making a mockery of your own series, tie-ins, epic event, and you're boiling it down to lazy vignettes with just a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
I was about to say, I wonder if they're trying to be like meta, or if they're being meta without actually realizing that they are. Because I don't know.
Give them that much credit?
I guess that's true.
I won't.
There's my last skip it this week is trying to be meta, and it is the most obnoxious thing ever. So
I think I can guess what it is. Then the last tie-in for Judgment Spray is Iron Fist. Not that anybody cares about this Iron Fist, because in this book, I would say 80% of it is with Loki.
Okay.
So why they pair up Loki with Iron Fist, I have no idea. And why Loki's so effeminate in this, I also don't know. But at the end, Loki asks Iron Fist out on a date.
Is that like the whole what the plot leads up to? Or is
Yeah.
that just like the final splash page that's like, wow.
So he gets judged in the way, I guess, the dragon from Dragon Ball Z that shows up in that show is what it reminded me of. There's a floating dragon that they fight, but not right away because they have to fly on an airplane and eat popcorn and jerk each other off and stand around and not do anything. Pretend to fight this thing. I know he doesn't even get judged in this, and then at the end, Loki's like, "Hey, next time, I'll take you out on a date, and we'll take care of it." It's like, huh? He said, "Next time we'll do it, and we'll make a date of it," and winks at him, and then disappears.
What an odd pairing of two, like Loki and Iron Fist. I would never, like, we're talking Nordic tradition and like more, what would you call that? Like
Asian,
more Asian, yeah, like Pacific, like type of heritage. They don't really coincide. I don't know. It seems odd.
yeah, I didn't get it, and I'm like, wow, you really have a lot of faith in your Iron Fist to not put him in your book at all, hardly, and you pair him up with Loki. I thought it was awful. So that's that. And then Black Panther number 10.
Is this still John Ridley?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's just a given.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a key. I don't have my key. Where are my keys? I don't have my keys. Keys. It's a key.
I don't have any keys either. No.
This is, I guess, first appearance of Buffalo Soldier. I just kept singing the song. I don't know why. But
no, wait. I thought so. Last issue was the first appearance of Buffalo. He shows up on the last page, right?
That's like a cameo.
Or maybe
that's a
cameo. So this is the first full appearance.
Correct. It's like the whole 180, 181 thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. We could get some keys for this one.
Yeah. So yeah, he shoots Black Panther in the chest and almost kills him because they're arguing about who's more oppressed. I mean, this is honestly abysmal writing.
Yeah.
And then you have the Trumpian character, the colonialist, the big puppeteer at the end. And the women get the comeuppance on him, though, at the very end.
It's like, I don't know anymore what it is that John Ridley brings that is like new or inventive or fun or adventurous. Like he did the new history of the DC universe or whatever, right? That was the first one of the first books he did. Awful. Even my friends who like have never read comics before read that and were like, why is Superman so awful in this book? He then writes a Superman comic, and that was poorly written as well. He's been doing Black Panther. He did that abysmal I Am Batman issue and has been doing that series. Like everything that he's been on has just been pandering. Yeah.
Oh, it's been fun to roast because it's so bad.
I mean, it's almost a given at this point.
T'Challa. I mean, he is so cocked in this. It is so abysmal. And this Buffalo Soldier guy, just like, he's like, no, we're free. And like, what do? You're a king, right? So you tell people what to do. And Black Panther's like, yeah, I guess so. You're right. And literally like slumps over and it's like, yeah, you're right. I guess. It's like, oh my God, what are you doing? I mean, it's so bad. It's awful.
It's how is he able to write superhero comics and writes superheroes so poorly? Because like you said, if Black Panther is like slumping, that's already you're wrong. That should never happen.
Correct.
The only time that maybe he should feel weight is the weight of the title of king on his shoulders. Am I doing the right thing for my people? Am I doing the right thing for my kingdom? Maybe then he'll feel like upset or
Yeah.
whatnot. But like having some random Buffalo Soldier dude telling him, oppressing him, quote unquote, T'Challa would be like, dude, you are nothing to me. Get out of here. I'm
Yeah.
a king, At least I would think that's how he would speak. But
Yep. But it's true. He can't write. That is the problem.
yeah. It's
Cool.
very simple. You think that it's more than that, but it's really just.
So T'Challa gets shot and could be dead, might not be dead, dying. I wouldn't be surprised if they kill him at this point. So this was
Oh no.
the Scarlet Sisters #1. There was a line of dialogue that they used several times in this that I couldn't help but laugh at. So it's 3 people that I don't know what their powers are. They're not defined. I really don't know what their story is because it's ill-defined. But in this one, in reference to one of them is a cop or a detective or something. And I guess I could be one of the Scarlet Sisters. I didn't even realize it. I'm one of them. I'm the 4th one. Surprise.
Nice.
It's a solid recommend. I guess one of them, their partner died, a cop. One of them, I don't know which one it is, but their partner died, and they're talking to the chief. He like calls her into it's the typical pissed off captain, scene. And she gets called in, and she says the character's name Ralph Payne was a good police.
That's not police officer, not policeman.
No,
just
was a good police. And then he answers, I know he was a good police, but I'm like, what?
Oh, so they doubled down. It wasn't like an editorial mistake.
They said it twice.
Like I'm thinking maybe like they just didn't catch it and they're like, oh, we
Right.
forgot to put in. But he says right after that. That's really good.
He was a good police. Yes, he was a good police.
It sounds like when you get subtitles or when you get dubs of like different languages and like they don't have plurals for things or they don't have different like words for different, so it's just yes, very or much fun had, and like words are missing, or yes, police good.
I was like, I've never referred to myself as a police. I was a police.
You were a police.
I was a police.
Yeah, I'm just going to refer to you as that.
I was at home busting out loud. I couldn't help myself, and I'm like, okay, this book is obviously a joke from here on out. Can I have as much fun with that line of dialogue as I can with the rest of this? And unfortunately, it's not as funny as that. That's the height it gets.
Yeah.
Very mundane things happen, and I mean, this is a long book to get through by the end, and they're just going after a bunch of cultists for some reason because they're in a cult.
At least the cover's kind of hot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a nice cover.
It looks nice, yeah.
There are a few back there.
Is that the one that's supposed to be in Department of Truth?
Oh.
She kind of looks like it.
He does kind of look like that. You're right.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Well,
oh man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So.
Oh, good police story. Thank you, police.
That's Oh, get out of here.
It's so funny.
I couldn't help it. I was almost on the floor. Oh god. Next up, Masquerade #2, the great, wonderful Kevin Smith book.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that he was doing books. Yeah.
Oh, he's trying and failing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is now Kevin Smith writing. It's horrible.
Does it feel like, because he did write that Daredevil series back in the day, does it feel like he is still struggling as a writer, like conceptually or even technically? Or does it feel like he's writing well, but the stuff that he's writing about is just garbage? Because I haven't read his stuff in a while.
Yeah, like I'm thinking about going back to like Batman Cacophony and reading
Mm.
that. It's so fun. It's such an
Hmm.
awesome story, awesome villain. His Green
Yeah.
Arrow stuff is good. I mean, I like his writing then. I feel like
Hmm.
now it's agenda,
Hmm.
and on top of that, I'm going to have really bad, lame, horrible, pathetic, stupid jokes in here that nobody talks like this in this book.
Yeah.
Everyone comes off sounding like a complete dipshit in this. And this masquerade character doesn't show up in the book in uniform or whatever the fuck this is. It's all it is her yelling at like this reporter or this guy's like, have you, why are you doing this? And why do you try to be Chris Hansen and go after these pedophiles? And she's like, because like she's like, well, do you have any idea about like what I've been through? And he's like, well, no, I clearly wouldn't. Well, you should know that I was affected by this at an early age. And she goes on this long diatribe, a whole page of dialogue,
Oh,
and at the end, this guy's like, that was perfect and amazing and wonderful. Why didn't you say that before? I mean, it's like, what in the shit are we
she
doing?
had to educate him.
Yeah, they're just going after middle-aged white guys and killing them, but having quippy, not funny jokes in the middle. I mean, it is horrible. But he just has to have his slay queen moments, and that's all
Mm.
it is. Yeah,
What a bummer, man.
yeah,
What a fall from grace.
yeah. You got that right. All right, now I sent this one to you, so you read this one. This was Scotch McTiernan's Halloween Party one shot.
Oh, so that's my like worst of the week for me.
Oh, this is your worst of the week.
Oh, by far, dude.
Okay,
Like,
good.
so it was,
Okay.
yeah. I was actually, so this one, and we also read Superman Son of Kal-El,
Correct.
which are both pandering in their own right.
Mhm.
Halloween Party to me was offensively like, it was so, here, let me pull up my notes for it because it is just, it's wild.
I'll get mine too. Oh man, this is a long book.
This is, yeah, 36 pages,
Yeah,
and it
long
felt
book.
like it was 90.
Yeah,
Um, it just kept going, and I'll say this is the definition of not being able to. Oh, we have a guest appearance. Someone's. Oh. This is the definition of. Oh, hello. We have
there
a.
it is.
Oh,
Bye.
what's up, dude? Hi, bye.
Bye. Bye.
Um,
And he's gone.
yeah, this is the definition of not having any type of subtlety. These three numbskulls think that they are like the greatest writers, but they can't actually address worldly issues without blatantly just hitting you over the head with it. This whole comic is pretentious, posturing, and self absorbed, and it's a total piece of shit. And I know that they were writing this just to dunk on the chuds or like to get the right people angry. And because that's how they wrote this, it shouldn't even it's less it means less to me, and it should be priced less than the bag and board that it is in. And to say that it is worth more than the bag and board is offensive to the bag and board. To me, this was abhorrent. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree. Like, this is that, oh, hey, I thought it was a fun, clever, adorable parody comic. It's like, no, it is low hanging fruit, the lowest of
Yes.
hanging fruit. It's like, oh, all of the monsters are scared that there's a white male mass shooter on the loose and they can't
Mhm.
scare anybody. And Scotch McTiernan, like this character, is that supposed to be John McTiernan, like play on the director?
I I think it's just supposed to be generic white action hero.
Okay, because John McTiernan, he directed Die Hard and all that stuff. So I'm like, I
Oh,
don't
then
know
maybe
if this character's
okay.
supposed to be like an 80s action star
Yes.
guy.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is hurting my head of how stupid it is and lazy.
And that's the thing is it's like most people who read this are going to be like, "Oh my god, this is like so well thought out and it's like sarcastic and it's witty and they break the fourth wall and it's like, it's social commentary and it's like no, this is just so lazy and it's just it's I'm trying to think of the right word without actually cursing. Um but yeah, I'm trying to look at more of the my notes here because yeah, like you said, the Halloween monsters are scared of human citizens now because human citizens are now the most horrifying thing in the world. And so the clown, like the scary clown, says, "I'm not the horror. I used to dine well off of the fear of Americans, but how am I supposed to compete when they're afraid of being murdered by an incel with a gun?" And I was like, F off, dude. Like that it's so blatantly obvious that you guys are pathetic losers.
Yeah. And
Um
that's what I think of that book.
yes.
So,
Yes.
sitting
That's
here,
what I was waiting for. Oh,
tired of
yeah,
this
just
book. Absolute trash.
oh,
Yeah.
I needed that. Thank you. That was therapeutic for me. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that felt good.
Um the let me address the last page too. So like for people who do want to read the book because they're like, well, I kind of like that witty humor, or maybe I like the type of politics that they're trying to talk about in this book. That's fine. But even if you do, at the very end of the book, there's a character who points through the screen, breaks the fourth wall, and says, "You, the reader, are the problem. You are the reason why these characters suck and why you're the, blatant idiot of why you're reading comics." Yeah, no, fuck this book. Absolutely, 100%. Like the character at the end pointing at the audience, telling them that they are the problem, that they're the reason why comics are bad and why they
Yeah.
should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah.
Dude, get out of here. So, Jerry Duggan, Brian Posehn, and Scott Koblish, narcissistic, egotistical, pathetic losers. So, thank you for ripping the book for me. Yeah.
You're welcome. I had to. I had to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was making my brain hurt. Just God, it's so bad.
Yeah.
All right. We'll save that one. I'm curious what your thoughts are. Chicken Devil, Volume 2, Number
Ooh.
1. Now, we started off hating this series, and then there were a few issues in the middle in Volume 1 that we liked. And then it got really weird by the end. And
Mm.
I'm like, okay, this could be good. So Volume 2, Number 1 came out, and I'm reading it, and they literally go back to what I hated about issue 1, where it's this
Uh-huh.
guy being cucked and having his entire family just constantly tell him what a piece of shit he is. And the whole time, I'm just like, this is a guy who thought he lost his family. in a
Yeah.
in an explosion. And it's like the ramifications of that. And it was serious. I'm like, oh, this will be good. First off, I'm glad they all died because I hated all of them. But then they're like, oh, sorry, never mind. They're alive secretly. And then he thinks they're like clones or something, and he tries to shoot his wife. And I'm like, this is awesome. This is really cool because this guy's really messed up. And then it's like, oh, they're all back now, and they're back to being pieces of shit. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, it is like the beginning of Rob Zombie's Halloween, the breakfast scene, like the cacophony of sounds and everyone yelling at each other and the baby crying. It's just like that. Every panel is just when he's at home. It's like kids are yelling at him, calling him a dipshit. The wife is like, fuck you, I hate you. It's like, I mean, I was just like, I can't do this. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. I read the first, I think, 2 issues of the first series. It wasn't really for me, but I can definitely see why people have kind of fallen off now at this point. So
yeah, they're off to a bad start. I'm probably gonna pick up issue 2 because I'm thinking if it follows the same trend, it might get better as it goes along. It could. Because I really kind of like this story. It's really fun and kooky, and some of the humor can work, but these characters are just, man, he just needs to start killing his own family.
No.
I don't know. There's just something about, like, I don't know if I get like just upset by whatever it does, but like hearing this stuff and like seeing it in panels, I'm like, God, it's just so exhausting.
Oh, absolutely, man. Well, same thing about that Halloween stupid party comic. Like it's almost like offensive to your senses because it never lets up. It's like constantly just berating you with a barrage of just like like stupidity or just like, you know, insanity. So yeah, like whether it's with like the art or the colors or the actual dialogue, feels like you have no reprieve from the real world. And so like you're wanting to escape into this new world of a comic book and you're just like, man, this sucks. Like, why? I feel bad after reading this. I shouldn't feel bad after reading a comic book type of thing.
Yeah. So. It's like I feel just dirty. Oh God. All right. Issue 4 of Gambit.
Ooh, I like the cover, but I did not
love the cover.
Yeah,
the cover is great.
Fire.
First off, Rogue isn't in it, so don't get your.
Oh, well, already.
I have really disliked probably every issue of Gambit, and it is getting worse. Regardless of what Drew says or anybody else. Just because Chris Claremont's back doesn't mean it's going to be good, and it's not.
Well, that's okay, Kyle, because Teenie Howard, I believe, is writing Rogan Gambit in like. Didn't we get that announcement from New York Comic Con or something like that?
Oh yeah, so we're safe.
Yes, okay. Yeah. So it'll be much better the next time around. So
good. I feel much better now.
Yeah.
So this issue is again why just this long drawn out storytelling is terrible. Why would Gambit, when he is a tertiary character in his own title at this point, it starts off on a river boat and they're trying to steal stuff, and it's Gambit saying how great and wonderful that new chick is, whatever the hell her friggin' name is, Marissa. He's like, did you know she's really good at poker? She's like the best poker player I've ever seen in my entire life. Not only was she a combat medic specialist, special person, she's also super hot, a superhero now because she's got a super suit, and she's amazing at poker. And she's just the bestest ever.
The bestest.
Yeah. That's seriously how this beginning is, and it's like 10 pages of them on this riverboat just jerking off. And I'm just like, where's Gambit and what does he do? And like, what is the threat here? Like, where is the bad guy?
Because like, okay, who's our protagonist? Who's our antagonist? What is the conflict? Like, these are basic storytelling elements that should be fleshed out within your first 5 pages of a comic, especially if you're only writing a 22-page, issue or something. But yeah, I just checked Newsarama. Rogan Gambit is written by Teenie Howard with art by Carlos Gomez.
Oh.
Coming 2023. So yeah, we're saved, Kyle. It's all right.
All
We have
right.
something to look forward to.
Okay. I feel better.
But yes, continue on. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. The best part of this issue, though, spoiler alert, who cares, is that Marissa Chick at the end gets stabbed and hopefully dies. But I know she won't because you can't kill her, because then you're an ist and a phobe and everything else they want to throw at you. So that won't happen. But you can. It's that Schrodinger's cat thing where it's like they're alive and dead at the same time. It's like, no, she's dead.
Oh.
They're probably alive at the same time. I don't know.
Well, she is a combat medic, so
Correct.
she could probably patch herself up
Well,
she's playing poker as she's defeating bad guys. Yeah.
And Gambit's nowhere to be found because he's a bitch. So thank God we have him in the title. So I don't know what we would do without him. He's so great. I hate this series. I really do.
Oh man.
Hate it.
I'd be interested to see what Drew says about that one. He'll have to read it for Friday.
He should.
He can't read Halloween Party because we ripped that copy, so he needs to find another copy.
Yeah, I don't know if there is another one.
There better not be. That better be the only copy in existence.
Go upstairs and see. Oh man. Okay, so I'll save the two that you read as well for the end.
Okay.
All Out Avengers #2. Like whatever. Yeah. So issue 1, we said it was bad as far as tone because it was trying to be funny and jokey but serious at the same time. And that's what it's still here. That's a huge problem with this, is that the dialogue in this one is worse than issue 1, if that's even possible. The way that they write Iron Man in this, it is just, he steals a line from The Big Lebowski, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, huh?
Well,
what are you doing?
That's just your opinion, man. No, okay.
Like,
was it that line, or was it?
Was,
I think there's
he's like, the Duder, El Duderino, if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Oh.
It says El Dumarino or El Victorino. It's like the whole brevity, literally just take that entire line. And so I guess in this, Doom is split between regular Doom, this guy, and evil Doom personality. So this Doom is a total bitch. He actually says, "I'm a failure."
Oh my god. Doom should never, ever, I don't care what iteration of Doom.
Yeah.
Those words should never be coming out of his mouth.
I agree. That's a big problem. And at the end, the Dark Doom, or whatever the hell they call him, gets beaten by a book. I mean, it's a book. Yeah.
I'm about to be beaten by these books. This is, that's bad.
It's bad. This book is absolute dog shit, and I don't see the point of it, why it's out, what they're planning, like why this exists, because it doesn't need to. This is abysmal.
That's a great point. A lot of these books just they just exist but have no purpose. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like, I feel like books should have something that you can take away from each one, no matter how, even if it's a filler issue. At least you can say like, oh wow, that maybe there was some good art, or maybe there was some good. But like with a lot of these, like their existence, there's just so much left on the table that's just not there. So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why this exists, because it doesn't need to. And why you call it All Out Avengers, like all out war fighting. It's like, oh, we have Doom with Mjolnir and Captain America's shield. Awesome. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Marvel wants $4. Yeah, you're right. BDG.
Yeah.
They want your money.
I guess that is the purpose, huh?
Yeah. Oh God. It's quick. So Flash, Fastest Man Alive, official movie tie-in comic, number 2 of 3. Who gives a shit? That's still dumb. It's a tie-in. and it's terrible. It's bad. Like, I don't know. Again, why does it exist other than to get money out of you? That's literally the only reason for it. I didn't even take notes on this piece of shit, if that tells you anything. Because I don't care.
Doesn't even. Yeah.
It's him fighting off some black splooge. That's basically what it is.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's beyond its apathy at that point. When when there's just nothing to even say.
Nope. All right. Batman Inc. #1 by Ed Brisson. This had, well, okay, I gotta be honest with you. I hate all these Batman tying characters.
Different iterations. Yeah.
The Village People Batman. I don't care about them, and nobody does. And so you creating a book around of a bunch of who gives a shit Batmans is just doing stupid detective work around the world. It's just like, really? Like, I know this is a key as the first appearance of Who Cares, but like, I just feel like when you have 100 Batmanses, you have none.
It loses the special quality and nature of Batman himself, right? Like, because is the premise of this? For context, I didn't read it, but is this book kind of centered around? Okay, now Batman has this kind of like squad of people that do Batman things around the Earth.
That's the plan. That's the idea.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I thought these are people that hate corporations and think greed is evil and big companies are bad. I don't know. It just seems kind of ironic. But I don't like Ghostmaker. Terrible character. I'm just not a fan. So yeah.
So they're kind of monopolizing the superhero formula.
Yeah.
Or like or vigilantism.
Yes. And trying to monetize it. I don't know if they're monetizing. It's like, why call it Batman Inc.?
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, so I'm not a fan of these characters. If you're a fan of these characters, you're going to get a bunch of them, and they're just bebopping and scotting all over the place.
Bebopping, scotting.
Yeah. So if this is something for you, go for it. I mean, it's $4. I don't like any of these characters. They all kind of sound the same, and just derivatives after derivatives after derivatives, and they're Z-list Batman people. None of them even look good. All their character designs are terrible.
I haven't been keeping up with most of them, but yeah, I'll have to take a look at it.
Yeah.
I guess for those who are probably interested in those characters, they're probably like, "Oh, hell yeah." But I don't know. I've really been, like I said earlier, I'm not a huge Batman fanboy, and yet the Batman ongoing series by Zdarsky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is phenomenal. I was about to, swear again. No, it's phenomenal. It's really, really good. And it's a lot of fun because it's going back to basics. It's just going back to, superhero stuff, which is great. And then the one that we read, the Urban Legends, the reason why that was cool is because it's still the same take on classic Batman, but you're doing it in a twist with like a totally different world, totally different costume. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think he needs an entire corporation to build off of. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Especially when all of them look stupid as shit. They look like they're Halloween costumes, and it's like, I don't even know why you're here. Like, what makes you Batman? Like, I just, I don't know. All right, on to Wonder Woman 792. One of the most boring books I read this week. Nothing. I mean,
who's it written by? Is it another
Lunan?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Diana is standing around trying to free Cheetah. She gets her out of somewhere because they don't exactly. She's in a cage somewhere. Don't know where. She tries to get her out. She's standing around. The scientist guy comes in. He gets tranked. She somehow gets out. And she takes a call on a cell phone. And so, and all of this is terribly so. If I sound aloof and like it doesn't make any sense, because that's what happens in this book. These transitions are whiplash inducing because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
on to the next thing. It's like, oh, Cheetah and her down somewhere. Oh, cut next to she's on a cell phone talking out in the middle of nowhere, and then now she's on the. It's like, what is going on?
It's that Marvel Exterminators effect where things just happen. Like, just there's no panel transition whatsoever, and there's no like concept of like setting a scene where you have like some sort of landscape shot, and it's like we're now here. It just things are happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Cheetah unleashed. No, that doesn't happen. Nice try.
nice, nice try.
No, it's not exciting. Doesn't happen. She stands around. So bad. Now, this was something I was looking forward to. I'm a big horror guy. I'm a big horror fan. I know you are too. So this is DC's Terror Through Time #1. It's a big old thick book.
Ooh, thick with 3 C's.
Oh yeah.
That's a cool little cover, kind of like an 80s VHS.
Yeah, VHS cover.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's cool. I was really excited for it. All of these stories sucked. I did not find a single one interesting or funny or scary or anything, any type of emotion. I got nothing out of it. Nothing. And this book is $10.
$10 hairs.
$10. I mean, she's thick.
That's
book,
yeah.
They all
the $10.
Yeah.
The $10 are just your time. You're just paying for minutes wasted, I guess, at that point.
That was a big horror. I was really looking forward to this. I can't recommend a $10 book when every story sucks and none of them are scary or funny or interesting or ironic or anything remotely like that. When we're getting really good horror from indie titles, you got to step up and no.
Yeah, man, those indie titles are crushing it right now in the horror game. They're really doing a good job.
Yeah. All right, and so I think the only Dark Crisis tie-in we got this week is Green Arrow. So, yeah, Dark Crisis, World Without Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths, Parallel Universe,
House of Infinity
War. With the gauntlet. Yeah. And this was yet another pointless issue. So Black Canary and Oliver Queen love each other. No shit. Duh.
The end?
The end.
Oh. Did you need $4.99, $5.99 to tell you that?
Yeah. What I really wanted to see in this one though, was Black Canary picking up a bow and saving Oliver Queen with it. That's what I wanted to see.
If anything, she should be saving her with her badass powers and not utilizing a bow. She has cool powers.
She has powers, right?
She has powers. Why not utilize them?
That's what I thought.
They were utilized really cool. And once again, the Batman book that from last week or 2 weeks ago.
Last week?
We saw a great panel of her being a badass, and she wasn't having to save Oliver. She was just utilizing her powers.
So. Yeah. And they make a riff on the beginning of this with, yep, you guessed it, the typical Robin Hood trope. As if you didn't get that before. It's like, you know what? I'm reading Nottingham right now. Don't make me wish I was reading it. Like you're doing a bad job right now. Dark Crisis. Who gives a shit? It's like these are pointless. These are not needed. It's like this is their dream world or whatever the fuck. It's like,
oh yeah. I thought they got pulled out of it though. Are they still in there?
Apparently, some of them still are. So he's still dreaming he's Robin Hood.
Oh god. I mean, to be fair, if Black Canary were my girlfriend, I'd still want to dream about her all the time. But
hell yeah, I would. Yeah.
But I don't want to be called Robin Hood. We've heard that since the 80s.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah.
Okay, last two, best two.
I'll pull a Drew and I'll say, "Isn't that fucking funny, Kyle? Isn't that just goddamn hilarious?"
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I have to be Drew this week, so
You do. You only wake him up for the important ones. All right.
Yeah.
Namor the Submariner, number 1 by Christopher Can't Write
Yay.
Well.
Oh boy.
Woo-hoo, we get old man Namor.
Old man Namor, who isn't even the king of Atlantis anymore.
No, he passed it off to his cousin,
Stunning
cousin.
and brave cousin. Yeah.
Yeah, and you see what happened because of that? Everything's better. There's no war.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything's great in Atlantis now because of her rule. I really loved that part.
What to say about this book? So first of all, I'll say that when they have the splash page or the 2-panel spread, or not panel, but 2-page spread of Atlantis, and it's supposed to be this big, like, this is my kingdom, right? Like Submariner's Namor is trying to really hype it up and be like, this is what we call home. It's drawn by what looks to be a second grader who's learning to do geometrical triangles and rectangles, and it's just shapes. And nothing looks relatively or remotely like an Atlantean 1,000-year-old city. So I'll reference this. If you guys have ever read Soul Saga by Stephen Platt, there are incredible, Stephen Platt, come on.
Yeah.
There are incredible landscape scenes where it's just shots of like cities and kingdoms. And then if you were to compare it to what we get in this, you're like, it's kind of a joke. So I don't know who they're paying over at Marvel to do their artwork, but it's gotten really sad at this point.
Yeah, I honestly was, well, first off, it's Christopher Can't Write Well. So he's already going to bastardize the character, and he does. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, how bad is it going to be? I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, so what are we going to get? We're going to get a world to where the ice caps have melted and pollution has caused the problem for everything, because of course it's Christopher Can't Write Well. So that's how you're starting out your book. It's like, oh, polar ice caps have melted and everything's underwater. So now Namor is not king of the world, basically, I guess.
Yeah, no, I guess you're right. Yeah.
And his female cousin is taken over and is better and smarter, and everything's at peace because of her. And now he's out searching for his balls, basically. Like, I don't know what to do with my life now. I mean, it's like, huh?
Well, that was the confusing part for me, and I put down in my notes that the dialogue was really clunky. Like, I just had to keep rereading things because I was like, okay, what's the point? Like, what are we getting to here? Or what is he trying to say? Like, what's the book about? And the dialogue just, like, I kept rereading it. But he's essentially, I think he's just kind of reminiscing, right? They're just talking about how great Atlantis is and like their ancestors and like economical, like like him and his cousin start talking about like economics, like the economic state of Atlantis. And I'm like, who cares about goods and services right now? Like, no one wants to read a book.
You could always bring in a prime minister to run everything.
Oh, yeah. They're just so...
Aren't we hilarious?
Just so gaudy and, yeah. Ha, 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 ha.
God, fuck off. And
yeah.
I have a hard time believing any of this. And then, so when the world is ending... So Christopher Cantwell then decides to say the mutants and all the heroes left.
Yes, that's why Namor and his cousin are now rulers, because all the heroes have just dipped.
Yeah, I'm
right?
like, you know what? I highly doubt. I can see the mutants doing it because they're pieces of shit. They would
Now
just
they are. Yeah,
teleport to Mars. Like that just makes sense.
yeah,
But every other superhero just being like, "Oh, we're peacing out. See ya."
yeah.
I'm like, that's your explanation for why nobody is trying to stop this or save it or reverse it or whatever. I find it really hard to believe.
Well, because I think he says that there was like a scroll war, scroll or Kree or something like that.
Yeah, the technology somehow
Yeah,
destroyed our
and
planet.
yeah, so like the next you get like a shot of like all the heroes like fucking off into
Yeah,
the
they're like,
into
"See ya."
space.
Like,
They're like, yeah.
what?
So that was actually a pretty funny panel because I was like, "Oh, they're just like they're gone." Like
Yeah,
it's like a shot from like someone actually watching them leave the earth and being
yeah.
like, "Wow, this sucks."
Like, where are they going? Like, what are they do?
Yeah.
Like, what is the point of that? And then we're left with
So
Captain America. Why he didn't leave?
correct. Yeah, and I find it hard to believe that he's the one who's trying to, because what we found out is that Namor has constructed like a biodome underneath the water so that humans can live in harmony there. But we find out that it's like even worse than on land. So, but Captain America is down below vying for Namor, and Luke Cage is above on the surface vying for humanity and Earth. And so they're trying to like get these two factions of people to like coincide with each other. But I don't know. I'm pretty sure Cap would be on the surface, right? I feel like
Yeah,
he should be at least.
yeah. I I'm sitting here and I'm like, again, what is the point of this story? Does it need to be
Yeah,
told?
yeah,
And after we got an old man Namor in Peter David's um, Hulk
mm,
or Maestro series, that was old man Namor, a
mm.
badass who was ruining everything. He had the Imperious Rex. I loved all of that. It's like this mopey whiny bitch of Namor just being like, I don't fit in anywhere. I don't know what to do anymore. It's like, will you shut up? Like, will you stop? I just, what is the story? What are you telling then?
Yeah. If anything, he should be almost kind of written like a curmudgeon, right? Like
Yeah,
he should be written kind of like this cynical old, you know, like
he's sitting
I
on a
hate
throne of
everything.
fucking skulls, and he's like, "This
Yeah.
is my shit. Fucking come at me, bro." And
Yeah.
all of the like, he's turned the world into this, and then you have the heroes being like, "We need to stop Namor because he's turned into a complete psychopath, and he's trying to
Yeah.
take over the world." And then it's all of the heroes trying to come at him, and he is killing them off one by one, just
Yeah.
like Maestro was doing. That's old man Namor.
Or he should well, I shouldn't say or, and he should be doing it in a way where he's like, kneel before me, peasant, and like recognize that Atlantis rules. And if they don't, off with their heads, like he should be super um like he should just be very convicted. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. This pouty one was a bit
Yeah,
off. So
yeah, not my Namor. Hashtag not my
not
Namor.
my, hashtag not my name, not my name.
All right, and last but certainly not least for the skivets, yay! Finally,
Yay.
not Superman, son of Kal-El. Kal-El returns, part 2.
Are you just so excited that we only have two more issues of this series and six more issues of the miniseries?
That's signs of a good thing. Hey, we're not
Definitely.
canceling it. Yeah,
Bestseller, Kyle.
correct.
Bestseller.
That's selling. Eisner Award winning, maybe. Not sure yet.
Number one on Amazon
Yeah,
every month.
yeah, it's solid
We're not, yeah.
every week.
Can't argue with that. So
All right, Superboy, son of Kal-El. Oh my! I thought this was going to be your worst of the week.
So initially it was,
Okay.
and then I read Halloween Party, and I was like, "This is this is something else.
Yeah, I snuck
This
that in there.
can't be
We weren't going to
explained.
read that. I was like,
Um,
yeah.
if you hadn't sent that to me, this would definitely be my worst of the week. So,
So, what did you think of Superboy?
well, let me start off with the good thing because the good thing here, yeah, and this is surprising. And don't get me wrong, this is still a very hard skip it, and I don't think that this series has been very good at all. However, there's a quote where he says, "I focused on my father's heartbeat, steady and strong." And as a Super Sons type of thing, that's what John should be focusing on. He should be looking up to his father and recognizing and hearing the type of heartbeat, the soul, the heart, the spirit of who Superman is. He should be looking up to that. So it's weird because, like, you see that there could be something good. And that's almost why this book is so upsetting, is because there's like a hint of, like, oh, that's kind of a cool concept. And then they just flat out just completely go, oh no, we're not going to do that anymore. And
Yeah,
just
like the first like page or
pander.
two, I'm like, this was actually heartfelt. Like this was actually something good.
Correct.
Yeah,
Right.
I
And
really
that's what I
like.
would be looking for
Yeah,
if I were, you know, if I were reading this book to enjoy it, um, which I should be, but it just ends up not going that way. But yeah, it could have had potential, but its existence is just boring. It's trying to force a message and it's self-indulgent by
oh
the
yeah.
writer.
Oh,
So,
so if you weren't going to read this, I was going to send you the last page of this book
yes, of
about
course.
where it goes. Speaking of subtlety, it's about as subtle as a gun. At this point, it's.
Yes.
I mean, like I was trying to. It's like I'm laughing for how stupid it is when you have you haven't had a single villain other than his boyfriend and his pirate radio group that are on a pirate barge somewhere breaking into the I don't know what the hell they do, but they all look like villains to me. I don't know.
Yeah, seems
Uh,
that way.
so aside from those actual villains, they haven't had an actual villain in this series, really. And you dispatched him last issue. I think it was last issue. But Lex took care of that villain. You didn't have
Mhm.
Superboy do it. And then at the end of this, we are led to believe that white male incels are going to be the shocker villain moving forward.
Hashtag Lex is right.
Yeah. I was like, are you really? Like that's your
It's
brilliant plan? That's what you wrote?
it's very it, to me it seems almost kind of sad that the writer, Tom Taylor, is created like he could create any superhero he could think of, or supervillain he could think of or dream of, like create or imagine some like really big threat that John has to take out. And yet he chooses trolls on the internet
Yeah.
to be a supervillain. Like, dude, Twitter has gotten to you way more than it should. Like, this
Yeah.
is bad. Like, if you're making Twitter comments your villain in your book, that is pathetic. That is not good.
Yeah. Hey, do you know he's gay? But yeah, I'm just
I
like
think, yeah,
this is your brilliant plan. This is what you have been working towards. Like this is your level of writing. This is your magnum opus, if you will. Like
yeah,
this is what's going to define your career. Like you're going to look back on this and be like, what the fuck did I do? Like I have completely ruined several characters all at the same time. Like that takes skill.
yeah. And that's the thing is like, if you were to go back and read these books, like if we were to go into the future 2 decades and then we were to read these books, you would say like, dude, this is so timely. Like it feels very dated. Whereas like if you read a book from the 80s or 90s, like those villains are timeless. Like those villains can show up any time or place or era and still have impact or meaning. But like trolls online or like an incel group on the dark web is so 2022. And so like you're gonna read this book and people are gonna look back and be like, what are we doing? You know, why is this the villain?
Yeah. Yeah. So two things. So one, that's your main villain. That's who you
Yeah.
think are evil enough to where you think you need Superman and Superboy to fight them
Mhm.
because you think they are that powerful. You think they have that strong of a voice and they are that villainous.
True.
And
Yeah.
their level of malevolence is so bad. We need to have Superman punch them and kill them because they're evil and stop them. It's like, really? Like, you really think they're that bad? And secondly, speaking of the timely thing, we have panels of Superboy wearing a fucking mask saving people. I mean,
Which
the pandering bullshit is off the charts.
it makes no sense for the character to do that. He is Kryptonian. His DNA would never contract something like a pandemic, of unknown origin. Like, I'm sorry, but Kryptonian origins will like I'm just a human can hold green kryptonite and Kryptonians can't. Like that's the type of difference that we're talking about here. So the fact that he's wearing a mask in this book just seems like it's self-indulgence. It's just him going, I'm the best, like just patting
Mhm.
himself on the back and going like, people are going to love me when I do this.
Yeah,
And
I'm
that's
gonna
the
get
other
a
thing that
vaccine because I need to get it. I need to get vaxxed. That like no, you should be more worried about monkeypox than probably. That's just me. I don't know.
and it's not just that specific panel, but like, did you notice that whole montage where he's like, John is essentially saying, this is what I do on a daily basis, on my patrols. I do this and I do this and I do this and I do this and I do this. He's just constantly like pandering and parading about like all the good stuff I do. Like, like, aren't I great? And though I don't think John is saying that, I definitely think Tom Taylor is trying to get through the head of the reader and being like, John is perfect. Stop judging him or stop trying to criticize him. He's perfect. Because
Yes.
he's like, on the first hour of my patrol, I go and save children at a hospital. And then on the second hour of my patrol, I go and I plant trees to help with global warming. Like, it's
Yeah.
so on the nose. And it's like, that's great that he's doing those things, but like, it comes off so virtue signaling without any context to a story, you know?
Yeah. It's like so. There's no evil threat. Like you're screwing around, planting trees, and saving shit and digging trenches and fucking Uganda or whatever. It's like because your life is so great, like you really have no threats. You're not worried about anything else. There are no giant supervillains that need to be stopped or meteors that are coming towards. It's like there's none of this earth-shattering things that are happening to where you have to waste your time doing that.
And there's nothing. Yeah, he could, because he's at the same time he's like searching for his dad. He's trying to listen to the heartbeat for his dad. Superman coming back to Earth. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know. Even if he were to do those things on a normal daily basis, they're trying to say that he's better than Superman because Superman has a day job. Or like Superman is a journalist for the Daily Planet, but John actually goes out and actually helps the world. What is Superman
Yeah, he
doing?
saves the world.
Yeah, he's
Your
actually
dad
doing.
shit.
Yeah, yeah. Your dad's just a journalist. What does he do? And it's like, it, John, get a job or something. Like,
Yeah,
just like, yes, you can save the world, and that's amazing. But at the same time, like, you have to allow, and that's what is great about Superman, is that Superman knows that he can't interfere too much with the human aspect of Earth, because humans are what make like the Earth's so unique. That's why Superman likes Lois Lane, because she is a human with human traits and also human brokenness, you know? So if John is just perfect and just making everything perfect around the globe, if he's not helping another country or not saving another, you know, uh, I don't know, another country or state or something, they're going to be like, John, so do you not care about us? Or like, do you
Exactly.
not, you know what I mean? Like he seems like he's trying to do everything. And
You
it's like,
can't
dude,
police the world. They
exactly.
want the United States to police the world. You can't police the world. You can't
Yeah.
fix everything. You can't. It's like at what point you have to draw the line somewhere. At some point, he's going to be going after overdue library books and be like, "I'm saving the world. You owe them 5 cents." It's like, see me, I'm doing a great job. It's like, really, this is what you're doing?
Yeah.
Like,
All the while there's like, Doomsday, or, is in the background just fucking crushing shit.
yeah, and
And he's
Superman. You have Cal bringing an entire war planet into our solar system,
yeah.
our atmosphere, and it's like, deal with it. It's fine. It's like, huh? I
Yeah.
just they're the self-validating bullshit of
Yeah.
people now. It's like, look at how many Twitter followers I have and how many Instagram likes I have. It's like, Jesus, like, do something. Go outside. So I'm over this. Everyone's over it. It's being canceled, regardless of how they try to spin this bullshit. It's being canceled because it sucks and no one's reading it.
I am thankful that, we only have 2 more months of before the title ends. I don't know what they're going to be able to do in those 2 months. Maybe they'll bring that incel dark web group into play, or maybe they'll just try and wrap it up. I don't know. But the next question is, what's going to happen with this 6-issue miniseries?
Oh boy.
But yeah,
That's
it doesn't bode well. Doesn't bode well for not Superman, son of Kal-El.
indeed. So, all right, let's get this the fuck out of here. Well, all right, now part of the show, we're on to the good stuff. The top 10.
Yes. And baby.
In your case, top 5, right?
Yes. So whenever you talk about one, I'll hop on and piggyback off of that.
All right. So these are the best, the creme de la creme. I have no one to say no, I'm wrong this week. So
hey, I'll call you out if I like. I'll say if you're wrong or not. But I only read 5, so I can't really say too much.
So
but
100% right this week, as I am week, so as it should be. All right. So starting off with number 10. Number 10 is Venom. Number 11.
Didn't
Now,
read it.
you may be asking, Kyle, that series is dog shit. Why the hell would you put that in your top 10? I'm like, yeah, you're correct. But this Raposa cover for Venom is the cover of the week.
Okay. No, that's fair.
This is a pure cover buy.
That's cool.
As it should be.
I
This
do like
cover is absolutely awesome.
I like that his neck is literally just his traps.
Isn't that awesome?
That's badass. Yeah.
That's as it should be. Opposing.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
not,
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, walking up to Thor with a smile on his face saying, hey, where I've been. Yeah.
Yeah, that tongue looks great. Yeah. That's a good cover.
Yeah. Great
That's
cover. Cool. That's all it's for. This story is dumb. And I know there's a key in here. First, another stupid symbiote. Who cares? I don't have my keyboard. Oh, they're over there. No keys.
Ain't worth it. Yeah.
This is a cover buy this week, guys. So that's number 10. I thought I'd bring back cover buys. Number 9. Number 9, Starhenge, issue 4 of book 1.
Ooh.
It's here. Now, do I have any idea what's going on? No. I really have a hard time following this story. I know there's something with King Arthur. I know there's something with Stonehenge in this and how it's tying to something, but I have no idea what's going on. But this art is just absolutely gorgeous.
Chef's kiss on the art. Yeah.
Yeah. Every panel, every page. And he does some interesting like art where it changes up in here, where it's like an old school. I don't know. It's really hard to describe. I may just
I read issue 1 and I was just I was taken back by that art, man.
Yeah,
It's
we
really
get
cool.
his art, and then it cuts to like this old school art in here
Oh, whoa.
for a
That's
few
cool.
pages. Yeah,
I like that a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then
Huh.
it just cuts to that for a few pages, and I'm like, ooh, me likey.
Maybe bringing a little
So
bit of Echo Lands in there.
exactly, I'm
Yeah.
getting those vibes. But yeah, I'm digging this art. This story is confusing as all hell, but and it may be one of those. It's like okay, when it's collected, going back and reading it all at once, it might make more sense.
Yeah.
But I think there may just be too much time in between. But yeah, this art can't touch this at this point.
Fair, fair.
So that was 9. We're on to
I have to
gotcha.
I have to do the dance, right?
A robot. Number 8. I got the approach.
Ah, the approach.
It's
So why
approaching
so low? No,
night.
I'm kidding. Why so low, Kyle?
Uh,
Um, yeah, go
okay,
ahead,
so
man.
you read this.
I did, yeah. You sent it on request,
I did. You had no idea. You didn't even say you wanted to read it, but I gave it to you anyway. So
which I love. I'm always down for recommendations.
I wanted
Um,
to take on this because I compared it to several other things that I have seen in my life. I've been around a little bit at this point,
just
and
a bit.
I had a hard time. I'm like, this could be seen as really lazy.
Mm,
Like it's a typical stranded people, and there's a monster, and it's isolation. It's like I compared it to The Langoliers, which is Stephen King, Storm of the Century,
mhm,
Stephen King, and The Thing, John Carpenter.
mhm. Yep.
Those were about the 3 things I was kind of getting a vibe from this. And
100%. Yeah.
I don't know if you felt the same way. Not that that's bad. Not that they did it better. The Langoliers is absolutely fucking atrocious. It's such a terrible story. But it's people trapped in an airport, and I'm like, well, that.
I mean, that sums it up. Yeah.
So it's people trapped in an airport, and this plane shows up. It's like, oh, this went missing 27 years ago, and then there's a Monstar on it. I mean,
A Monstar, like from Space
yeah,
Jam.
yeah, the same.
um,
So what was your take on this?
so yes, I had this as I'm looking at my notes. I had this as my number 5 because I actually did put the Urban Legends story as my number 4.
Okay.
So that like Batman, cool monster hunter, that was my number 4. My number 5 came in with the approach. The design of the monster, which we see at the very end, is really cool. I like that design a lot.
I did too.
Super terrifying. I love the shot of the angle makes it look massive and
Mhm.
pretty terrifying. I think the book lends itself much better as a movie, which
100%.
probably, yeah, which I think probably makes sense because it feels like it's pulling from movies. But if this were like a film, I would be 100% in on the film. As a comic, it reads a bit slow. But as a film, I think there are a lot of really cool things that you could do. Like, I love our main character, who's kind of this beefy, detective type fire chief,
Mhm.
uh, who understands like the weight, the gravity of like the storm. He understands like taking care of these people, and each person has their own characteristic. Like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm going to clear the runway. I'm going to grab blankets. I'm going to grab food. Like each one has a responsibility. So in a film, I think you could do that really well by fleshing out each one of these characters like on screen. I don't know. In a comic though, it's more difficult. But overall, I like the story. I think that it could be something very cool. It's a slow burn, but I kind of liked that it was not so the world is ending. It was just contained, in this little airport, which is kind of like you said, that, you know, s- um, solitude type of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, that I'm a sucker for the isolationist horror stuff where you're
Yes.
trapped and you can't get out, and it makes it. I'm like, this is clearly a Netflix pitch. You
Yeah.
can tell when you read it.
Mhm.
I had the exact same notes. It is a very slow burn. You could easily get turned off by this, and I wouldn't blame you because it takes a long time. I mean, it's a long walk for a short drink of water, basically. It's like, okay, a day in the life of this, and let's do this, and oh no, the power goes out, and oh, let's get blankets for people, and oh my, what's going on? Get these people up. It's like Jesus. Like, I know there's a monster. I know there's something here. Like it's like we all know this. It's like get to the point. It's that faster, more intense George Lucas thing. So but I completely understand. It's like, okay, if you were to watch this, it makes you can go by a little quicker. You can let these scenes breathe. You can add tension. It's like you can add these other things to give it atmosphere. I completely understand it. And I'm like, there is something fun here, and I love stories like this. So I hope it gets better. Like I have hopes. I have high hopes for it. And where did this plane come from out of nowhere? I mean, there's a lot of what the hell?
Yeah, especially when it's, been missing for so long. There is a cool concept here.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think that's what I took away from this is like there's a really cool concept here. There's some really interesting characters that could be fleshed out more. And I think it needs to find its pacing. And of course, it works better as a show or I think honestly a movie. Hour and a half movie, boom, done. Like if this is a 5-issue miniseries, make it an hour and a half movie, and it's great.
But, yeah, you get your 90 minutes out of this. I'm all for it. I'll be there, and it's like you can tell it's even made like on a TV budget or a TV movie because not that many people. It's one location. It's snow. I mean, it's like, okay, we understand. You can make this super cheap, but still make
and you
it
can
fun.
and you can put most of your money into the monster.
Correct.
Which would be cool. You know what I mean?
Practicals,
So,
like just like it's like make it practical.
hell yeah.
Yeah, I'd be there.
Make the tendrils moving and like
Yeah,
grabbing onto the person, the like whoever that was, like make it super creepy and
yeah.
eerie and like almost
Gooey
gross, like the
and just
thing. Yes, yeah,
crackling,
visceral.
just
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm right there with you. So that's why it's number 8. I wanted a little bit higher, but I'm not sure because this
Nah,
could be a dud.
that's fair.
That was number 8 for me. Number 7. This is again another one. Spawn 334.
Oh,
Now,
I forgot that came out. I didn't read it.
yeah, I didn't know if you read Spawn. I didn't know if you wanted it or not.
Nah, that's all right. I've been reading Gunslinger and Scorched. And King Spawn.
And King Spawn. Those are again, this I think is the lesser of those. And it shows at this point because the art is kind of and the story is just it's really convoluted, and I'm reading it every time it comes out, and I'm reading all the other tie-ins, and I have a hard time following the main title. Very confusing.
Yeah.
And I kind of get lost with these tertiary characters at this point, and I'm like, what are you fighting for? Like, what is it? I just have a really hard time grasping onto anything in this main title.
That's tough because if anything, I feel like the main title, which is why I actually dropped the main title. I was collecting it for a while, mainly for the Bjorn Barons covers. But after a while, I was like, okay, if this is your main title, shouldn't this be kind of your core essence of like all the other, spin-offs come back to the main title to where it explains all of what's happening in the universe? But it sounds like it's either not doing that or it's not doing it well.
Correct.
Okay.
So it just doesn't do it for me. You got much better Spawn out there, so I don't know.
Much gooder.
Yeah, much more gooder.
Much more gooder, better stuff out there. Yeah,
exactly. So it's my number 7, but it's kind of a stretch. Any other week, it would be a meh. So that was number 7. We're on to. This is a shocker. Axe Judgment Spray X-Force number 32.
Wow. A Judgment Spray title.
Indeed. You see it here.
Explain yourself,
I
as
know.
as Drew would say.
Again, I think now what they're doing with this could be a bait and switch. But what we have here
Mm.
is Craven on Krakoa going after the mutants and killing them.
Ooh, so
Yes.
kinda back to the Sabretooth,
Yes.
okay, title.
So, like, he
Alright.
kills somebody in one of the pods, and, like, Craven even says, like, "These people have no idea what they're doing. They're an abomination. They have no rights to be doing this. Like, they all this power that they have, they shouldn't be using it. They don't know what life is and how sacred all this stuff is." It's like everything everyone's saying, which is true. It's like
Mhm.
they're basically all crazy and they all need to die. And so he's going around, and, like, it's I think they should have let it play out a little bit more, as because, like, you have Jubilee and, like, an Omega Red are out there, and Omega Red's like, something's going on here. Like, I can tell this wasn't another mutant. Like, this was something going on. This was done, like, maliciously. Like, this was done, like, by somebody's hand. And then, like, he starts eating this dead body, and she was like, "What the hell are you doing?" He's like, "It's a waste of good protein." Like, all this, it's like, this
That's
is
pretty fu
and
That's kinda cool, actually, yeah.
it's really awesome. And I'm like, so I am really liking this. It's a lot of fun seeing Craven just slowly stalk all of these mutants and killing them off one by one, and then, like, he goes after Beast and is finding a way to trap, because, like, he's trying to kill one of them, and he's like, "Who's the strongest one here?" And everyone's like, "It's Wolverine." And so he then is trying to trap Wolverine to hunt and kill Wolverine. And I'm like,
Dude,
this is awesome. This is what I want.
that's
Now I
cool.
know it's probably going to be bullshit, and everything's going to go back to normal, and everything's going to be fine, or it's a fucking dream, or whatever bullshit they're going to pull. But this was a fun issue.
What issue is this?
It's X Force number 32. Ben Percy.
32 issues? Oh my lord.
Oh yeah,
Um,
of nothing.
yeah, I was gonna say, damn. Well, that sounds, 1, awesome. 2, I'm wondering how they would go about, "Oh, it's all just a dream," because that seems so cliche and it seems so lazy. So I wonder how they are, because there's no way that's way too cool, that
I know,
Kraven would just be killing all the mutants. That's way too cool for them to do that.
I know, and I'm like, the rug is gonna be pulled out at some point. But
Yeah.
for right now, this issue, this standalone, I'm all for it, and I absolutely
Alright.
love it. So
Alright.
I may have to eat crow. I don't know, but I did like this issue. So
That's, you know what? You gave an excellent explanation, so I'm here for it. Yeah.
yeah. So any other week, who knows? But I still feel like I don't shit on every X title, and I do actually read them, because I could have easily said, "Skip it's an X title, it's stupid." But
Yeah.
no, I read them, and I read this one,
Yeah.
and it's actually good. So
I mean, anything with Omega Red and Craven should be top tier, like, should be in a top 10,
yeah,
but
and
yeah.
Deadpool wasn't as stupid in this either. So
Oh, thank God.
you
I'm
can
getting
easily
over that character. Yeah.
everything. So that was 6, right?
I think so, yeah. What would be n
Number
got
5.
him.
I got you good. The West Moon Chronicle number 1 from Scoot. Yeah.
What?
This was a shocker for me,
Okay.
because one, it's a number 1, 2, it's from Scout. So you have literally no idea what you're getting.
Yeah. That's
um,
true.
I really liked. It's not. I'm trying to think. So it's number 5 on my list. It's not a super great awesome issue, but it's good.
Mhm.
So basically, it's an old man and his grandson are like secret monster hunters, which sounds like an awesome premise.
Good start. Good start,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, I how it ends though, it may get a little too manga. weird for me.
Oh, see,
And you
I like that stuff. Yeah.
and if you like that, if you like that type of storytelling, it's like this guy, the like the grandson shows up to this old man's house and like they're kind of talking and he's trying to tell his his grandpa like, hey, we think this is a good opportunity for you and we just need some money for this and you can leave. And the granddad's like, no, I'm staying here like in this dumpy town. And um then like all this stuff starts playing out and you're like, holy shit. It's like, well, what the hell's going on here? You're led into this whole world of these guys are secret monster hunters and they're going after these things. And how it issue ends, it's like a character shows up and there's a dragon flying around and it's like, oh, I'm your secret. I'm like, I don't know, this may get a little too much for me, but the art in this is great.
Nice.
The pacing is excellent in this. The fight scene, what they have going on, the pacing is spot on. Like I just it might get a little too kooky for me. I don't know.
Okay.
But it's a fun, if you want to try something a little different, and it's not going to be for everyone, but I really feel like this was a surprise this week, if I can put it that way. I was pleasantly surprised.
No, that's good. And that's like I've read some Black Caravan stuff from Scout and been really pleased with it. But then there's some other stuff I've read from Scout that I have know nothing about, and I pick it up just because it looks cool and it's like, oh, this is a rip it or skip it at least, So you kind of play with fire sometimes whenever you pick up those titles. So I'm glad to hear that this was surprisingly good because yeah, like you said, you never really know.
You don't really know. And this series could go into Toontown real quick and be like, okay, I'm not about that life. But this one issue, like, just the art is terrific, and it went somewhere that I didn't see going. There's one twist, and I'm like, okay, I kind of got that, but yeah, when it goes into them being secret monster hunters, I was like, what the hell? I didn't know. I had no idea, but I was all on board with it. I was like, this is cool. So I would give it a shot. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So now we're on to number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4. I have Batman versus Robin 2.
Ooh, interesting. As Drew might say, why so low?
You read this.
I did read this, and this is actually my number 3, but it's only because I didn't really have much else to read. So
So what did you, in comparison to issue 1, what did you think of this issue?
Oh my god, dude. Issue 1 was very well done. This is a complete step down for me.
I agree.
So
that's why I was treading carefully, because I'm like, I almost put this as a meh, because I'm like,
ooh,
it's going somewhere that I don't know if I want to be on board with.
Yeah. So I definitely understand. Like, it was such a departure that I was like, ooh, this is a totally different series. You know what I mean? Like from issue 1, that felt like a continuation of like World's Finest, or like one of those really good books that we're getting, or the Batman title. Like issue 2 was like, whoa, did I read the right book?
Right.
So I have that it felt like a step down, and the story felt very choppy, and it was very like dream state like. And I think in the book it actually says something like, it's dream logic, Alfred, all of it. I think Batman says that at one point. So I was like, okay, so we are in a dream, but like you don't know that until like you're halfway through the book. So it was very odd.
Yeah, I was completely taken back. I think I went into this one like I had really high hopes, because I really liked issue 1. We loved
Yeah.
it. It was our pick of the week when it came out. We even told
Yeah.
Mark Waid it was our pick of the week. And I felt like I went into this one thinking, I'm like, oh man, how are they going to top that? And I wanted it to, because he
Yeah.
is a guy that's known to do that.
He's
And
been doing it with World's Finest.
yeah. And this issue we get, I mean, the weird kooky magic, and then you get like some of the Sandman Neil Gaiman stuff brought up too. And I'm like, I just feel like it's kind of meandering. It was just like, oh, let's go to this set and let's go to this. It's like I was having a hard time kind of grasping, okay, what are we doing other than giving everybody backstory into what happened to Robin if you didn't read that series. Like, I know you get the backstory of the Lazarus Pit and, you know, Ra's al Ghul.
The grandmother. You get her. Yeah.
I felt like I was kind of let down by it.
Yeah. No, that's totally fair. I will say that the book started to pick up for me when Damien was like, he's like now pulling the strings. Like we get that panel of him like, you know, puppeteering everyone, and we like figure out how the Devil Neza was released from his, you know, cave from World's Finest. I really like that character as a villain, so I think that was cool.
I love the character design too.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So I, you know, and then you see Robin get his new like team. I won't say who it is or like what it is, but you see like that kind of roundup of other individuals. So like there were things that I was like, oh, that's cool, but the book as a whole never made me go like, that was so much fun. I was just confused for a lot of the time.
Yeah, and I've tried to read Sandman. It's all down there. I've tried it. I really, it's a lot for me. And when they go into the House of Secrets and go through all that, I'm just like, all right. And I don't know if that's the point, is to kind of keep you off balance. If you're trying to act like Batman and Alfred going through this funhouse basically, and you can't really get a grasp of what's real and what isn't, and like, if that's the goal, then A+, because the whole time, like, I couldn't get footing. I couldn't get a grasp. Like, okay, we need somebody.
Reality.
Yeah, you need somebody outside of the Matrix explaining this is what's going on. You can kind of get that feel of, okay, this is ground. This is good. Now let's go and keep stepping back, as opposed to just here, have fun, figure it out.
It just, that you articulated that so well, because it really felt like you were just kind of thrown into the dream world, and then as you're in there and you're like very confused and things are convoluted, you're finding out as you go along the way. But like you said, you have no footing for that. You have no reality or grounding to understand what's real and what's not. So yeah, for a good majority of the book, which, like you said, if that was the intent, bravo. Like if you were trying to, if Mark was trying to portray this sense of uncertainty and this sense of like confusion, I definitely got that. So I mean,
yeah. And so I was really curious your take, because I'm sitting here reading this. I'm like, I don't know if I'm liking this, and I'm like, I really hope I'm not just weird thinking I just don't like this, and maybe I'm missing something here the whole time.
No, like I said, I do think the book picked up towards the end, and I was like, okay, we're back on track now. But that first portion, I was like, ugh. I seriously thought I picked up a different book. I thought that the PDF that I had was like not the right one.
Yeah, I had to keep going back. I'm like, issue 2. Okay, I didn't skip. It was like, okay, issue 3. Yeah. So, okay, good. I'm glad I wasn't the only one. Not to say it was bad. It just
no. Hey, it's our top 5. Yeah,
it's our top 5. Yeah, you're right. So, yeah, it just didn't quite do it for me. It wasn't, guess, what I wanted, or maybe I do and I just secretly don't know. Maybe he's playing 5D chess here. Who knows?
Maybe.
So, okay, so that was 4. So now we are on to the top. Ghost Rider, number 7.
Ooh, nice.
It's a cool cover.
Well, while you talk about that one, I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick. I'll be
Okay.
right back.
So, Ghost Rider, issue 7. Better issue than the last one. Last issue of Ghost Rider was completely pointless. It was Ghost Rider in a bar with Wolverine, and the cover of them fighting never actually happened. Shocker that a cover lied to you. So this one, it's good. Better than last issue. Again, it's not a perfect book. It's not great. So now we have the girl with the dragon tattoo showing up and telling Johnny, but I really just dislike this character. And we still don't quite know what side she's on. So she basically shows up and tells Johnny, hey, I'm dark and twisted and evil too, but I'm like more dark and twisted and evil than you, and you need to team up with me. I don't know if that sales pitch would actually work. I still think that character's weak and it's ill-defined, and I'm not sold on it. But the better part of this issue, though, is we have a new creature, villain, don't know what side they're on, probably evil, but it's a character and it's called Exhaust. Now, this character, Exhaust, in this is fucking sweet. I really like the character design. I really like where it could be potentially going. He and Blackheart might have a team up going up against Johnny in the future. That's the better part of this. The not so good part is that girl with the dragon tattoo character that keeps showing up and saying, hey, I'm dark and twisted and evil just like you, and you need to team up with me. It's like, who are you and why? Like, no. But yeah, the character design for Exhaust, though, in this, really cool. I'm all for that. Art's terrific. So step up from last issue.
I gotta check out Exhaust then. Is it a key? Is it a first appearance of Exhaust?
Appearance of Exhaust. The key.
Nice. Well, I mean, these covers for Ghost Rider have been fire.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, I was a fan. So yeah, pick this up. I really like that character Exhaust. It's a really cool, really awesome design.
Nice.
You know, it is something you see in like Mad Max or something that's really creepy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Liked it. All right.
I was about to say, I'm interested because I only have 2 more others. And so I'm interested to see what you had for your 2.
All right. My number 2. We'll see. Can you take a guess?
Mhm.
Take a guess, see what it is?
I think it's gonna be oh shit. I think you're gonna put Jurassic League as number 2 and Prodigy as number 1.
Ah, you're right. Hey! So yeah, Jurassic League is my number 2.
Okay. It was mine as well.
Okay. So what do you have to say about Jurassic League?
I think that this was a really fun series overall because this was the last issue. This was really fun. I think it's even going to be more fun for kids to pick this up in like a trade. Like, you know, when this comes out in a trade, it'll be ready for probably Christmas. So, like, this should be essential Christmas gift. Like, kids, even like for adults, like this was a really fun issue, and just to like read through the entire 6 issues would be a lot of fun. But for me, this has honestly been the most true to form iteration of the DC characters in any book right now. Like,
yeah,
which is funny because they're dinosaurs. But Daniel Warren Johnson writes Superman how Superman should be written. He writes Batman how Batman should be written. Like, it's so true to form. And I don't know. I've really appreciated it. And Superman is finally the hero that saves the day. Spoilers. I won't tell you how, but he saves the day. And I was like, finally, this is what I've been looking for. So it was great. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, a title that could easily be written off. And I think if you go back and look at our solicitations when this was coming out, I was rolling my eyes saying, "Oh God, I do not want this."
Yeah.
But
Which is fair, yeah.
yeah, this art, like you said, if you get it in a trade and you want to introduce your kids, if they really like dinosaurs and you want to get them into superheroes, this is the perfect marriage you can have to
Yeah.
be like, oh, and his art allows that. This art is so dynamic and fun and
Yeah.
bombastic and loud and scary and crazy. It's like it's got all that stuff in it. I mean, it's perfect for kids. And if you want to get them into comic books and the superheroes, this is a perfect way to do it. It's a fun story. It's a simple story that kids can grasp,
Yeah.
and they get a chance of like, oh, that's Superman. Oh, that's Green Lantern. Oh, okay, that's Batman. It's like, yeah, you get that perfectly in this.
And I think because you were describing the art earlier, and Juan Gideon is the artist on this one, but it's like Juan Gideon almost looks like he's been taught by Daniel Warren Johnson.
I
Like a
guarantee you.
lot of yeah, there's
Yeah.
definitely influence there.
Yes.
So I think the both of them work well together in their storytelling because it is so similar. But yeah, the art is fantastic. And when you said loud, it's loud in the sense that like it's not offensive to like your eyeballs. You know what I mean? It's loud in that it's exciting.
Yes.
Like everything is super I don't know, it's just very bright and bold and fun and leaves you wanting to like turn the page because it's exciting. So yeah, I think whereas like other books, the art can be loud and it just looks like you can't even look at the page because it's like
Yeah.
there's like too much. But this is very it knows what it is. It does a good job of doing what it is well. And that's just a really fun read and a true to form iteration of the characters.
Right. Yeah, it's loud in the sense that you know when somebody's being punched or hit it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
you can grasp that. It's like, oh, look at that. Oh, that character just got punched. And oh, look at that, knocked through this wall. It's like all of
Mhm.
it's drawn incredibly well, and it's like you get the loud bang, zip, zoom. You get all of the sound, the onomatopoeia. It's like it's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a lot of fun with every issue. It's been a recommend every time it's out. So, and it's
Yeah.
only 6, so you're not having to pick up 12 issues for something. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Good pick. I definitely think that's right where it needs to be.
I'm right there with you. So we're gonna do it, but everyone kind of knows what the number one's gonna be, though.
Hmm.
Prodigy Icarus Society,
Ooh,
number
nice.
4.
Number 4.
Yeah, Mark Miller,
The man himself.
the legend.
Yeah.
So
He's transcended man and has become legend.
you got that right. So is
Yeah.
this your number one as well?
It was like
Okay.
very much so. It was a tie between this one and Jurassic League, but when I thought about it, like overall, there's no way it's not number one right now this week. So yeah.
I agree. Yeah, so this is the penultimate issue. We got one issue left of this volume.
Oh my. Okay, I was gonna say I was like that went quickly. Like I want more of this. Like this has been so good.
Too bad.
Yep. You got 18 issues of not Superman Son of Kal-El. You got 5 issues of Prodigy.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Jeez. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks.
Yeah, I love this series. The series has been amazing. I love
Mhm.
these characters. So Edison Crane and company have finally found Shangri-La. They're there, and appearances can be deceptive. Not everything could be appearing as it is or should be.
Yes. And just the imaginative mind of every inner working thing in this book is so much fun to read, and it's so interesting. Only someone who has knowledge of a lot of, like, different things throughout time and, like, someone who's very intelligent is able to write a book like this. You have to know a lot about, different cultures and histories and concepts, and, like, it's just so well written. The dialogue, Mark knows how to write, dialogue better
100%.
than a lot of other people. The dialogue is so smooth. Everyone says exactly what they would say in that
Mhm.
scenario. Um, so much so that, like, that ending panel, those, like, ending few panels, I hated those people.
I know.
You hate them by the end of this book.
I know.
You're like, "You pathetic sack of shit. How could you do something like that?" Um, so you really feel for these characters because they're written well. They have weight. The where they are is extremely interesting, and nothing is ever over. There's no overabundance of dialogue, which I
Right.
appreciate. He never once feels like, where are we? Once they get to this Shangri-La, right?
Yeah,
Something like that.
Shangri-La, yeah.
No one ever goes like, well, since the dawn of time, and then they just go on this fucking long-winded thing, and you're like, like, no, they get right to the point. They're like, this is what it was, this is what we are, and we welcome you. And it's like, okay, now we're here. It's just so well paced, well thought out. Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, I had a great time with this. He's one of those writers that going back and looking, I find all of his writing so engrossing that
Mm,
I'm not going through thinking like, "Oh, this sounds like X, Y, and Z," or "Oh, I've seen this done before, but in this,"
yeah.
or "That character wouldn't say that." It's like everything is paced perfectly. I have no idea what to expect ever
Yes.
from him, ever.
Ever.
And that's why I love it, like, turning the page of these books. I have no clue where it's going to go.
Hmm.
I think I might have an idea, but I'm usually wrong about every time because it's so refreshing to
Yes.
read this. And this Edison Crane character in the hands of a lesser writer could come off like such an asshole and
Arrogant.
yes,
Yeah.
just a know-it-all prick.
Yep.
But like the part where they're still trying to find Shangri-La and they're going up the mountain and that chick's been hurt and he's like, "Oh, I can read you a book from like my memory palace. Is there anything
His
you want?"
yeah, his extensive memory of memorizing books in his library.
He's like, "I
Like,
can read you one. What do you want to
yeah,
read?" I'm like, "Holy shit!" Like
yeah,
in the hands of a lesser writer, that could come off super cringe and really bad.
and really, like, pretentious. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but I buy it. I buy it from this character, and I buy it from and it's kudos to the writing. He does
Mhm.
such a great job, and I didn't expect it to end the way I thought it was.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, it's it's like, damn. I mean, uh I can't spoil anything, but
yeah.
damn. I just
It's yeah, you find out who those characters truly are, though. Like,
yeah,
you
and the thing is, like,
figure out,
they're
yeah,
nefarious, they're bad, but, like,
yeah.
that bad? I
But,
mean,
like, yeah, enough to go that far, like, I don't know.
yeah,
I was like, "Fuck, man, that's brutal."
it is,
So
and
yeah, I
the whole thing
what's that?
behind the society and why
Mhm.
everyone they are the way they are, I'm like, I buy it. It's cool.
Well, what's interesting is, like, because, like you said, you think you know what's gonna happen, or you think you have an idea of, like, okay, so this is maybe some more, like, whimsical magic that allows them to not age or whatever, or not, be at war with each other.
Mhm.
But it's actually, I don't wanna say it, but
I
there's
know.
something else, it's not a subversion of expectations, it's complete imaginative, creative, ideas just pouring into these pages. Like, it's not like, "Guess what? You thought this, it's gonna be something e," it's never subversion, it's always new, creative, and, like, exciting, ideas just put onto the page. So yeah, man, it was really, really cool. Even the coloring and the art in this is
Oh,
on point. Like the colors of this book in particular were, I thought, really interesting. It was a lot of like blacks and whites to kind of match the tiger figure, and there's a lot of modern, like that silver, kind of sanctuary and everything. So I don't know. It's this is issue 4, you said?
yeah. Mhm.
Each one has been solid and engrossing. Like you're in this world when you read this thing.
Oh, I'm
So,
completely in it, and the whole time, like, everything is just blocked out from me when I read this book. I
yeah.
just completely tune everything off, and, like, I just get so engrossed into these
Mhm.
characters in this story. It's like, I'm here, and I love it, and everything it has to say about, you know, we think these civilizations are so great and wonderful and what they do, and then you get people coming in, and there's always somebody that tries to fuck everything up for everybody else, basically.
That's the thing, man. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. Well,
Because
what some
everyone,
people,
yeah.
yeah, what most people see as a positive, there's always somebody that's like, "Oh, well, I can use this to my advantage now."
Yeah, they want the power. They wanna, and that was actually something that I wanted to ask you about. Do you think that there is a bit of commentary, at the end when one of the characters says, "Oh, he won't have any idea because there is no war here. It's all peace. So he doesn't comprehend what we are trying to do is malicious."
Mhm.
And I thought that was kind of interesting because I think it speaks to, if a society completely forgets what it means to be on alert or to have a security or to be on their guard or to have law and order, like I thought that was kind of interesting because that character couldn't comprehend their malicious evil ways and just thought, I don't know what they're doing. What could they be doing? Everything is peaceful here.
Mhm.
That character ends up not looking out too well. So I don't know. That was just I think it's kind of interesting, even though he probably didn't even mean for that to be written in. As a
I don't know.
reader, I don't know.
In
As a
my
reader, you can get a lot from the book.
Yeah, you can probably read it a multitude of ways, and I feel like that's good writing also. What you
Yes.
see as
Yeah.
something I could see as, "Oh, no, I think it's probably maybe saying this." It's
Hmm.
not hitting you over the head like, "Oh, these are incel people on keyboard warriors on Twitter getting mad at somebody." It's like, "No, this is." It's like, you say this, like, this is what every civilization has done since the dawn of time, that there's always these peaceful people, and then somebody comes in and
Oh
wipes everything
yeah.
out and destroys everything. Are we
Yeah.
as humans destined to always destroy everything? Can we not have
Hmm.
a peaceful civilization because somebody's always destined to screw it up and destroy? Are
Yeah.
we destroying ourselves? Could we have peace? We just choose not to.
Right. Is there someone who's always going to be out for their own self-interests? Or are we all people of our own self-interests? Yeah. And just, yeah, and that was the other question is, do you think the female, I think he's the queen,
Mhm.
do you think she has an ulterior motive or do you think she truly is who she says she is?
See, that's where I was going with this. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, they're being welcomed in like, "Oh, we know who you are, and look at our great civilization." It's like, yeah, we've seen this played out in a million ways. It's like, here's the perfect society, here's the Stepford life. You
Hmm.
know, it's like, here's this perfect society, but then it's like, we're gonna lure you in with our siren song of peace, love, and happiness, and then actually we're going to kill you, or actually,
Yeah.
if you don't buy into this and drink the Kool-Aid, you're dead. That's where I thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
I really don't know, because we have another wrench thrown into the mix where it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh-oh, maybe this guy started, maybe they really are peaceful and nice, and this guy's screwing everything up. I don't know.
I also like um like, what's the right word? I like the fact that there, I don't have a word for it, but I like the fact that it's this kind of overarchingly peaceful place where everyone comes to have their sins almost vanquished. Like, because I think the queen even says that their friend who needed healing was poured a bath by the same Roman guard who pierced the side of Christ. And so, as evil as you think that that dude was, even he's here at the sanctuary looking for respite. You know what I mean? Looking for
Yeah.
his sins to be, you know, relieved or whatnot. So just like there's so many interesting moments throughout the book. What did you think of the bridge keeper, the guy from Monty Python? He's like, "What is your favorite color?"
What I thought he was doing. Like, hi, you're good, you're good, you're good. Fuck you, you're good. You're
Yeah.
good. But yeah, I was like, I loved the part where one of the guys is telling Edison Crane, like, are you planning on fighting him? He's like, I've already done it in my head. You're gonna lose. You're gonna break 5 bones, and he's gonna beat you up in like 2 moves. He's like, you're gonna get a couple blows on him, but he's gonna end up. I was like, holy, like this is the fun stuff. Like this is the fun stuff, and I love this dialogue. And it was just kind of like, so he said one of them shouldn't go, but he goes anyway. I'm like, what was the point of that?
Yeah, I really like the design of that character because it's like it's got the 2 big like Japanese almost kind of like dragon pieces that are like guarding, and he's just standing there in this samurai armor guarding the bridge. Really cool concept design. I just thought that looked great. But yeah, I think the reason why he let him go in was because he was carrying the woman because she couldn't go in on her own. Was that the one who he said? I don't know. So
that was Edison. I was like, so you're saying he's not worthy, but everybody else is? Yeah, I was like, okay, there's going to be a fight here or something. It's like, no, he just let him go. And I'm like,
that,
okay.
Yeah, that was my only like, well, what was your point then?
Exactly. Why were you? If you're not vetting anybody, you're just like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
You're not much of a doormat.
Like, yeah, right. It's kind of like the Rick and Morty episode where he goes, you know, the little butter thing is like, what is my purpose? And he goes, you pass the butter.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God. So like, yeah, his purpose is to just let people cross. He's like, oh my God. So that was like, that was the really only other thing that I was like, meh. But overall, it's a really solid issue, easily number 1 this week. So I'm glad you and I agreed, or else there would have been some fisticuffs. But
I would come up victorious as always, but
of course.
You win, you always do. So that's it for us this week. That was our top 10. Am I 100% right? Is Max 100% wrong? I don't know. Hey, but thank you for stepping in. We appreciate it, as always, for stepping in for Drew because he's too busy.
Oh, yeah, no, my pleasure, man. This was seriously so much fun. I'm glad that I got to do this with y'all and we got to do it live. So I hope everyone enjoys this week, and we'll see you guys on Friday. We'll talk more. But yeah, if you guys want to see me come back onto the show, or if you guys want to come follow me, I'll try and link my channel in the description below. But yeah, thank you guys again for having me on. This was super fun. So
always, you're a welcome addition as opposed to people just listening to me blabber on about nothing. So yeah, guys, we're out there.
Show about nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for all this stuff. Do you want us to go live some more on top 10s? We don't normally do it that much because timing usually doesn't work out. But if you guys like it, great. Remember, buy what you like, collect what you want. Don't listen to those god-awful, evil, horrible haters. And we will see you guys again next time. Take it easy.